is real. Legend has it that he's still living up by the lake, searching the waters and the woods for his wife, so he could bring her back from the dead.
Hi, we're back again. This is still Matt.
And this is still Katie. And we're still talking to you from Movies and Mischief with Matt-n-Katy, and we just finished watching The Waterman. This is a movie currently streaming on Amazon. It's produced, directed, and starring...
David Oyelowo.
I never get his name right, so I'm going to not say it. Rosario, Dawson, and what was the young man's name?
Lonnie Chavis, who is the youngest version of Randall on This Is Us.
And Maria
And
Bello.
Amiah Miller.
Was that
Joe?
Joe? Okay. I've never seen her before.
You have, but you don't remember. She was in the War for the Planet of the Apes, and one other thing that you've seen.
Holy cow, that was a little girl from War for the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay. I love her in that movie, and I loved her in this movie.
Yeah.
So this is I'm not quite sure why they categorize it as a horror.
It's not at all.
This is not a horror.
It's a little bit of a...
It's a fantasy
not really
fable.
Even a fantasy kind of, yeah.
It's
had an odd mix of things that's not what you think it is.
So anyways, Gunnar and his family live in the Pacific Northwest. They've just moved into this very beautiful town, and I think they're in Oregon. And his mother is dying from leukemia, and he is desperate to help her, and he hears this story about the Waterman, who kind of
cheated death.
Ghost story, who cheated death, who lives in the woods, and he becomes friends with Joe, who knows all about the Waterman, and he's off to find the Waterman.
Quest to find the magic that will save his mother.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Kind of loved it. It's a lovely story. The acting was so good. I adore that little kid. I just adore him. And he was so good in this. It was a solid story. It was clever. He's a budding artist, this little kid, and that was made use of throughout in a very sort of clever, magical sort of way. It was a wonderful, wonderful movie.
I loved this movie from beginning to end. I mean, I went into it expecting one thing and was completely pleasantly surprised by what this ended up with.
Same.
I mean, I agree with you on the solid story part. Right from the get-go, I loved this kid. Rosario Dawson plays the mother, and I love Rosario Dawson to death. She was, once again, excellent in this one. Alfred Molina shows up, and he was wonderful. This was a nice topping to our mediocre movies for the weekend. Really glad we watched this one. I love how I just love when a movie can capture that imagination and innocence from a kid's eye, you know?
Yeah.
It just made me feel good. Yeah. I could see what was happening.
Without being cheesy, without being sappy, without being condescending or, you know.
Yeah, you were seeing what was going on through this kid's eyes, and you felt how desperate he was, and you were desperate with him. And when everything going on in the real world is going on around him, that's not what he's seeing. He's seeing what's in his mind's eye, and it was just so well done. What's his name?
Who? Oh, David Oyelowo.
He directed this as well.
Directed, produced, and is in it.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep an eye out for anything else he directs, because this was just so well done.
Really?
There are a couple of really good shots, framed shots in this movie that I was just like, it just took my breath away. It was really, really well done. I mean, if we had been in a theater, I would have been sitting like this the whole time.
Yeah.
I just cannot express how much I enjoyed this film. And I was telling Katie that the music throughout the film it had this kind of whimsical fun tone to it, but then at the same time there was this underlying mysterious kind of feel to it, which went along with the story. And I absolutely loved the Waterman. Look at my face. I'm smiling from because I just loved.
It was a good idea for a
that could have
character.
That could have destroyed the whole thing.
Yeah.
If that had not been done correctly, that could have ruined this entire experience for me. But it was just so well done when the Waterman is there. And, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and this is one that you could watch with kids. Not littles. And not that... I mean, there's probably some scary things in it for littles, but for littles, I think it's probably just, there's not enough to hold a very, but
teenage, preteen kids.
8, 9, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Solid 10, Yeah.
So would you, I'm assuming I know the answer to this,
but I would absolutely recommend this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is one I would probably add to my collection. Hopefully. Man, I wish they did commentary. They don't do commentary as much as they used to, because this is one I would love to hear the writer and the director talking about. Not a lot of effects in this, but when the effects do show up, they're good. I would say the only thing about it, because we want to be fair here, the only problem I had, and it was very, very little, the dialogue was a little clunky from time to time.
Yeah.
But not enough to pull me out of the story, not enough to tarnish what I think is an otherwise excellent, fun fable.
And there was really only one moment that really struck me, and it was between the two kids. And it was her. It was a line of dialogue that she says that I think she was a little bit overmatched here.
Yeah.
Acting wise.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that they probably should have scrapped that line the way it was written and given her some other way to tell him this thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly the section that I was thinking about. Yeah. But again, it wasn't enough to ruin
it didn't make
experience.
You roll your eyes. It was just like, oh, that wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, she needs to work on that. That was it. But other than that,
I mean, she's 17, so
I absolutely loved this movie.
Yeah, it was really.
I thought this was a great flick.
Really nice to have something to redeem the last two. I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's just nice to have a movie like this that has a happy ending. I mean, it's not you kind of know. When it's over, you kind of know what's going to happen, but it just ended in a way that made me feel good about this story and these characters.
Reminder.
Yeah,
and it's a good reminder.
Yeah. So there you have it. The Waterman, currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Katie and I both are telling you to watch it. As usual, please subscribe. Click the like button, share, comment. Let us know if there's anything out there you would like us to watch. What are your final thoughts? My final thought after watching this movie would be: do not take for granted the people in your life, the people that you love. Experience them, love them, be with them. Don't take them for granted. Yeah. And what about you?
Always. That has been my mantra for life. Mm-hmm. Never let someone doubt how you feel about them. When you care about someone, never, ever give them a reason to doubt that.
Tell them. Like this. I love you. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're getting sappy. Other than that, I'll just tell you to be you. Look for the positive in your life. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.